Now to the fine print. It's important that you understand that by accepting TQP funding, you're entering into a legal agreement with the Commonwealth. Let's look at how the process works and what you're required to provide as part of the funding agreement. If your application is successful, you'll be included in a list of projects who will be offered funding in the 2012 round. The Minister is likely to issue a media release and RET will contact you directly. However, before your project starts, and before you can be paid any grant funds, you must have a funding agreement in place. RET will develop a draft funding agreement for your project based on the details you've provided in your application. Note that you must not start project activities prior to a funding agreement being signed. You won't be paid for or reimbursed for work undertaken before the agreement is signed. Under the funding agreement, payments will be made if the project activities set out in the milestones are achieved on time and evidence is provided as required. You'll be required to provide a report on completed activities for each payment milestone. If your project goes over budget, there's no capacity to increase the amount of funding payable under the funding agreement. If you can't meet an agreed milestone activity, you must inform the Commonwealth as soon as possible. Don't wait until the milestone report is due. The funding agreement is a legal agreement between the Commonwealth of Australia and you. It sets out what you've agreed to do as a condition of the grant. If you fail to meet your obligations, it sets out the steps that the Commonwealth can take. The funding agreement sets out what warranties or guarantees you need to make in terms of record keeping, reporting, and what indemnities and insurance you need to have in place. Before entering into a funding agreement, you should read the draft document on the RET website very carefully, and you should feel free to get your own legal advice. So there you have it, your guide to T-QUAL grants, tourism quality projects, and how to apply for funding in the 2012 round. You can find more detailed information and an application form at www.ret.gov.au/TQUAL. Still want to know more? Call the hotline on 02 6243 7604 or email tqualgrants@ret.gov.au.